Rock and Roll Geek Show 813.
Still rocking after all these years.
This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
This is it, the show that started it all. Often imitated, but never equal. From San Francisco, USA, online since 2004. It's the one and only Rock and Roll Geek Show. With the original Rock and Roll Geek, Michael Butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name is Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Saturday, December 9th, 2017, and it is 8:09 p.m. when I'm recording this show. And I have an old friend in the studio with me, or in my messy closet-sized studio with me. His name is Joe Klein. How you doing, Joe Klein?
Where the hell am I? And who ordered the veal cutlet anyway?
It is nice to see you. Joe Klein is one of my. I think the world of Joe Klein a lot. I think more highly of him than he thinks of me. But
isn't that the way it should be?
He is crashing at my house for tonight and tomorrow, and then he's heading to. What brings you to the Bay Area?
I'm not sleeping here. I'm literally crashing here. I crashed my car into your. Sorry about the front window.
If you don't know,
hey, what was the question?
If you are a longtime friend of the show, you know who Joe Klein is. He's a show favorite,
Klein,
a listener favorite.
My name is Klein. If you're from New York,
if you're new to the show, I apologize, friends. Joe Klein likes to talk.
You're really sorry. You're really sorry. Man, Michael, I got to say, I love what you've done with the place, man.
Yeah.
This studio is awesome.
The room is like getting more and more piled up with stuff. I have a pile of stuff on the floor. All the Cheap Trick stuff sent to me by Rodney Cross. All these Cheap Trick bobbleheads are on the floor. A book that just got sent to me by a friend of the show, Todd Cunningham, the Greg Renoff Van Halen Rising book. Thank you, Todd Cunningham. Some beers.
I literally had to climb over the Rock and Roll Geek
piled
himself.
Up. Everything is piled up.
I had to climb over Michael Butler to get into this share here. It's unbelievable. But like I said, it's very lavish and very rock and roll is what it is.
Speaking of beers, I would like to thank Rodney Cross for the beer I'm getting ready to open. A Caldera Lawnmower Lager. From Portland, Oregon, I believe, or from Ashland, Oregon. It is Tecate has 4.5% alcohol. Let me finish up my second Tecate of the day.
Don't forget the big after you've taken a sip. There you go.
Tecate has 4.5 alcohol.
Count them.
Lawnmower Lager
2
has
3
3.9% alcohol.
0.9 4.5.
And it has the taste of a heavy beer, but it is very low in alcohol. It's a nice crisp beer. I'm going to take a sip of this fine Lawnmower Lager. I had one on the Mad at Dad show on Monday. Thank you, Rodney Cross, for sending me this.
Big come on. There you go.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, and thank you, Michael Butler, for this delicious white Zinfandel that I happen to be drinking over here.
Rodney Cross also sent me this Premium Northwest PNW beer with a big elk on it. Tall boys. Thank you, Rodney Cross. I really appreciate it, friend.
Rodney, you be the man.
And, all right, hold on a second.
I don't even know you, Rodney, but I like you already.
Speaking of sending stuff, I got an anonymous package in the mail yesterday from Amazon. It is a remastered Montrose first album.
Good Lord, I actually saw that online. I saw that online. Something about that online the other day.
It's on 180-gram vinyl. It's remastered. The Montrose first album is widely considered, by me at least, to be one of the greatest rock albums ever made. Montrose, this is actually one of the greatest American rock. This and Aerosmith Rocks are probably, Aerosmith Rocks and Van Halen first album are probably the two classic American rock and roll albums. It's a double album. It's so on the second. So Montrose's first album was only a single album, obviously, but the bonus album has live at K-San Studios.
Good old K-San.
This is before Montrose even had a name. They never even played a gig. I think Sammy Hagar might have been like 16 years old. Why don't we start off the show with something from this? I think Michael Street might have sent me this. It's anonymous, so I'm guessing it's Michael Street. Whoever sent me this, thank you so much. This is a really, really, really cool thing.
Dude, I partied with those guys.
With Montrose? Tell me. Do tell.
I don't remember where and when. But if I did,
do you remember,
it wouldn't have made any sense.
Do you remember K-San Radio?
Yeah, I sure do remember K-San. K-San was the big underground San Francisco station.
Yeah, the FM. This was back when FM was cool.
Yeah. No,
any stories about K-San? Because Joe Klein used to be an FM DJ, right?
No, I was actually only a DJ for a minute for less than a year on AM. But I had a zillion AM? Friends that were FM because basically FM became music radio in the mid '70s. More and more of the stations became FM, and FM was now AM is relegated just news. AM used to be music, but I got lots of stories about FM radio. By the way, as a matter of fact, a friend of mine named Sean Conrad used to be the program director of KSFX in San Francisco. That was a urban station. I don't know if it still is. And he was also program director of CBS FM in San Francisco.
Do you know a guy named...
and another friend of mine was a DJ on KFRC back when they were the big 610 AM station in San Francisco in the 70s.
Do you know a DJ named Tom Donahue?
Who doesn't know Tom Donahue?
Oh, is he famous?
Yeah, very well known. I mean, I'm not a friend of his. I've met him once, God, back east somewhere, gazillion years ago.
He was the DJ at K-San Radio, and he put...
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
When Montrose came into the studio...
Yeah, very well known for K-San.
When Montrose came into the studio, Van Morrison was supposed to come. Well, I'll let Jim Donahue play. I'm going to play a little something from side 3 of this album. Let me turn on my turntable here.
There you go.
All right, let me drop the needle.
Speed. There you go.
So with Van Morrison one time.
Whoa. Okay. Take it away, Jim.
This is Tom Donahue back at the record plant in
Tom!
Sausalito, where we're back to more live performances.
Take it away, Tom.
This time we did have Van Morrison scheduled originally, and we talked to Van this afternoon, and he said that he didn't feel the band was sufficiently rehearsed or had an opportunity to work enough, and he'd rather do it some other time.
Tom has nice pipes.
Give everybody a chance to be heard when they think they're at their best.
Or had.
So to fill that hole, we've got a real good group. And a group that nobody's heard yet because they haven't performed for anyone yet. It's made up of Ronnie Montrose on guitar. He played with Edgar Winter, Boz Scaggs, Van Morrison. Bill Church on bass, who was also with Van Morrison one time. Denny Carmassi on drums. And Sam Hagar is our vocalist. I don't think they even have a name yet, but they sure do play good. Here they are.
And I feel so good tonight. Woo! All right.
There you go. All right,
Oh,
let me
yeah.
pull- let me
That
pull this
rock,
up.
dude. You got me rocking with that one.
That's K-San Studios. They didn't even have a name for the band when they recorded, when they played at K-San Studios. Like I said, Sammy Hagar was like 16 or something like that.
I think I'm starting to remember in a haze where I partied with them. I think it was after a show they did in Los Angeles, in L.A., in the 70s, mid-70s at the Starwood in
What kind of
the
partying?
West
did you-
Hollywood.
What kind of partying did you do? With
Oh,
them?
the serious
Coke?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember that. I can't remember that part of it.
And what were you doing for a living back then when you were? when you
Okay,
were
well, let's
doing
see.
Coke with
Okay,
them?
what was I? Folks, do you love that question? And what were you doing for a living when you were doing Coke? How do I answer that one?
Just
hey, by
tell
the
me
way-
what you were doing for a living. How
Hey.
about that for an answer?
By the way, happy holidays, Michael.
Yes, likewise.
I really feel the Yuletide spirit here. Not. Anyway, no, what I was doing for a living back then, interestingly, I moved into West Hollywood in '74, in the fall of '74, and I believe that was right around the time that the Starwood opened. It was either just before or after I moved to the area, and I'm sure you've heard stories about the Starwood, at the legendary rock club
Yeah, Van Halen.
in West. Just great. I mean, well, that's where Doug.
Did Montrose play the Starwood too?
Yeah, that Montrose played there, I believe, and I'm trying to remember the exact date. I just can't remember. I think it was about 75 or 76, and I vaguely remember partying with them, and it was the usual, just partying backstage, just girls with cocaine.
The girls brought the cocaine.
Well, girls with cocaine. I don't know if they brought it.
You were doing
they just
cocaine.
had it.
You were snorting cocaine
Well,
off of the girls.
And I'm just trying to think, because I don't think I had my first line of Coke until 74-ish, 74, 75. And so this was a little after that. I think this would have been around 76 or so.
Huh. So
Starwood was amazing.
I doubt Montrose. I think Montrose might have been done by 76.
Well, okay, so I'm not sure the exact date. It could have been 75, but they played there. I mean, we'll have to fact check me. I can't remember. We that punk rock band, that punk pop band I produced, the Sunset Bombers,
Yes.
in '78. We shot the album cover of the band in the side artist entrance door of the Starwood.
Yeah.
And that's where Doug Feiger, by the way, had that legendary show that led to his deal with Capitol for the Knack, which was the year after we did, well, actually just months after we did the Sunset Bombers, where he played bass. But Starwood Stories, man, oh man.
New listeners, Joe Klein is a legend.
In your
LA.
mind, it may be, but not.
He's a Los Angeles legend.
You're too kind,
He told me a
Michael.
story
You're too
once
kind.
when he was a DJ. Tell me the story about when the two girls came when you were a DJ.
What do you mean the two girls?
They called in the studio and they came over and you put a long record on.
Oh, well, that's pretty much the story, right?
No, what happened when the long record was on?
I was a DJ for a short time in 1971. I was 18. I had just turned 18.
You were 18 years old when the two women
18
came.
years old. I was working at I know it sounds corny, but it was at a small radio station in Bakersfield, California. It was actually the most popular station in town at the time. It was called Kaffy Radio, KAFY, 55 AM, the Big 55.
What town? What city was this?
Bakersfield.
Oh, Bakersfield.
Bakersfield. And the station, I'm telling you, man, it was right out of a bizarre movie. It was a tiny little building in the middle of nowhere, across the street from a graveyard on the extreme eastern end of town. At night, I worked the all-night show in the big, tall radio beacon towers.
And what were your hours?
With the
10 to
midnight to 6.
Oh, okay.
And we had the tall beacon, the red beacons glowing in the night.
Could
and
you do
whatever.
anything on the radio that you wanted from 10 to 6 on AM?
Say that again. Could I do anything?
Could you spin any music you wanted to spin?
No, not really. It wasn't as tightly controlled as it got in later years. But what we had is we had records in the studio we were supposed to play, and kind of a loose-knit clock in front of us called a format wheel that we were supposed to play, like, let's say, an A category record at a certain time, like at the top of the hour after the ID, and then a category B record.
So when
they made these arbitrary decisions.
When these girls called in, what category? When they came, so these girls
what category were the girls?
You were spinning category A songs, and you got a phone call in the studio.
It wasn't a phone call. I think the way I recall it, and I think I told you the story, is girls would literally. This was the summer of '71. Okay,
in Bakersfield.
In Bakersfield, hot Bakersfield nights.
This is about the time that
Doors.
The guy from Hee Haw.
By the way, my very first night on the job was the very night. Of course, it happened in Paris hours earlier, but it was the very night that Jim Morrison died.
Did you make the announcement on the show?
I did not, but when I came into the studio, this is an interesting story. When I came into the studio early to report for my show and kind of learn the board and learn the controls, the DJ that was on before me, I went into the little newsroom that had a teletype machine right behind the DJ booth. And it was dinging, and, there was a bulletin, and I was just looking at it and happened to see the story, news bulletin, Jim Morrison dead. And I went back out into the DJ booth and tapped the guy, Jerry was his name, Jerry Clifton, tapped him on the shoulder and handed him, I had ripped the teletype, that's what we used to do, rip and read, just rip it off the news machine.
Newsflash. Breaking news.
Absolutely. Bulletin is what it would say. And the machine would be going ding, 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 ding. And I handed it to Jerry, and he read the news on the air, broke the news to all the people in Bakersfield. But interestingly enough, to answer your question about what record, we had one fairly long song on our playlist back then, and
Riders on the Storm.
There you go. God, what a memory! It's all
coming
back to him.
So
now.
The girls called in the show.
They did not call in. What happened was a lot of girls. They had nothing to do. We were the #1 radio station in town.
In Bakersfield.
Bakersfield.
Bakersfield's #1 station.
Bakersfield, the
I'm
big
your overnight
50
boy, Joe Klein.
Caffey,
what was your name
#1?
on the radio? What was your DJ name?
John McAllister.
John McAllister. Say it.
It's John McAllister at Caffey #1. No, the reason I was John McAllister is because they already had a jingle made up.
John McAllister.
John McAllister, Caffey #1. So when they hired me, they said, "You're going to be John McAllister." It was pretty wild. So anyway, John McAllister's on the radio,
Did they call you John McAllister in like, hey, John, come over here.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely.
Hey John, I got to John, empty that garbage.
When you were John, you are garbage.
Hey, breaking news! I got something for. Oh, thanks, John. Oh, John just handed me this news.
No, you were literally all these DJs with their stupid phony names, like Paul Shannon,
I
gotta
start
Shannon.
calling you John McAllister.
Well,
now.
you can. That'll be all right. You wouldn't be the first one, but yeah, when you were a DJ with that name, you kind of assumed that identity at the station, and for all intents and purposes, you were that name at the station. And when you say about the girls, you were that name to your listeners too. They actually just thought that was your name.
Tell me about the girls that came in.
Okay, so what would happen is if you were on the air all night and it was pretty warm outside and what have you, we're on the east end of town, but word got out. Word was around like where the station was, and we were the #1 station, and we were of course on 24 hours a day. So what would happen is I'd be on the air, and the DJ, the board, you'd be sitting on the board, but you looked to a big window that faced outside, that faced a little parking lot outside the station. Yeah,
so you could see if anybody's breaking into your car.
Well, you could see if anybody pulls up because it's pitch black outside. We're across the street from a graveyard, for God's sake.
Scary.
And it was scary.
Were you the only one in the
I was the only one in the whole building.
A
Tiny
shack.
little shack.
Shack.
There you go. You got it. Exactly. Right out of a movie. And so what would happen is in Bakersfield, across from a graveyard, from a boneyard. And so what would happen is if somebody pulled up to the station, obviously you'd see the headlights, and I was the deer, and you'd see the headlights. I'd see the headlights, and I was on the radio, and people would pull up in the middle of the night. It wouldn't always just be girls. Sometimes it would be, a couple, a couple of party guys, a couple of party girls, a carload of people.
Hey, let's go see John McAllister.
Let's go to the radio station, dudes. We're going to the station.
So these girls come up.
So I'm on the air, and as would happen quite often, I saw these headlights pull up, but it was a Jeep. It was one of those Jeeps with the big headlights on the top. You know, all those goofy, you know, something that your buddy Ted Nugent would be driving.
Jeep.
Yeah, a hunting machine. And they pulled up, and they blinked the lights, two girls, and the next thing I know, I'm looking up, I say, okay, I couldn't get up at that particular moment, but I'd always leave the front door open.
You saw it was too. You left it. You're in a You're next to a graveyard. By yourself, and you leave the front door unlocked.
Fucking A. Fucking A, man. I was fearless back in those.
Joe Klein. That's the way Jim McAllister
John McAllister.
That's the way John
was
McAllister.
Fearless. I should have used the name Fearless John McAllister. Anyway, I saw the Jeep pull up, and this was the only time this happened. I swear to God, this really happened. These things really do happen. I saw the Jeep pull up. I'm kind of looked to the side. I'm getting my next record out to play, you know, putting it on the turntable. Of course, that was all records back then. And next thing I know, there's two girls standing at the window, and guess what happened next?
What?
You mean you're not even going to guess?
They banged on the window.
Well, the next thing I know, up went the T-shirts.
They're at the window, the big picture window, and they lifted their tops.
Picture window, lifted their tops.
They flashed you.
And flashed me, but didn't just flash me. Let's just say they pressed up against the window.
They smashed their boobs against the picture window.
You got it, Toyota.
And what did you do? Come on in, girls.
It's
John McAllister.
I just kind of shrugged it off as another night at
Did you have a shirt
job.
that said "I'm John McAllister"?
No, I had a shirt that. Well, you don't even know what one my.
So
you
invited him
know
in?
what my shirt said. What?
Did you invite him in?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. What I did is I waved.
Waved him
come
in.
On in. Yeah,
That's the cool move.
Come on
waving.
in, girl. Yeah, exactly.
Like you're busy on the air. You got one hand on your headphones, and you're talking, and you're waving him in while you're doing Jim McAllister here on Caves.
Yeah, well, I waved him in, and the other hand wasn't on my headphones. But
it was on your penis.
God,
it was pulling your dick out.
Yeah. Anyway, the girls came in.
So you have sexually assaulted somebody.
The girls. God, you remember exactly. I shouldn't even be telling this story in this day and age. Next thing I know,
these girls. Are
good thing I'm not running for office. They were of age. They were of age. If anything, I was the one underage.
So they pressed their boobs, and you're like,
I waved them in. I waved them in. They came in the studio, and they were just giggling.
Did they still have their tops off?
Their tops weren't off.
So
remember, they had just lifted.
So they pulled their shirts back over their boobs.
Yeah, when they walked in, they didn't walk in holding their shirts
they didn't.
up for
okay.
heaven's sakes. But no, they came
that's
in
too bad.
and let's just say that's when I decided to pull out Riders on the Storm by the Doors and play.
Which is like a 15-minute album track or something. Riders on the Storm. Worst song ever.
I liked it a lot for many
reasons.
I
know why you like it.
I have a lot of good memories about.
So what
Riders
happened when you pulled out Riders on the Storm? Did you? Did they just immediately climb under the console or
under the console? Yeah, that's right. I asked the girls if they wanted to,
You want to climb under the console, girls?
I asked them if they wanted to help me.
Would you like a drink? Did you have cocktails?
I said, girls, I've got a little wiring problem under the console. Do you think you help me with that, please? Oh,
and
man.
Riders on the Storm.
Riders on the Storm, 7 minutes. I almost remember the exact length, 7:16 or something like
you know
that.
Now you know how friends. Now you know how long it takes Joe Klein to achieve orgasm. 7 minutes and 16 seconds.
I am not admitting to anything, and I did not say that, ladies and germs. That was Michael Butler that said that.
All right, well, there you go. Learn something new every day when Joe Klein comes to town.
Just a funny old radio story from, would you believe it? How many goddamn years
this
ago
kind
was
of
that?
stuff,
45 years ago.
These kind of stories don't happen in the podcasting game, by the way.
Yeah, well, God, I wonder. Well, all you got to do is take one look at the studio, and you'd see why that's.
All right, I should thank.
Hey, by the way, where's your picture window?
Right there.
Oh. Okay, but I can't see through it.
There's
nothing on the other side.
I should thank people who donated to the show. So
please do that.
The donor segment. Okay. Hold on, let me put some music on.
If you stop donating, Michael stops rocking.
I might as well stick to the vinyl. Hold on.
And now, It's time for the Rock and Roll Geek Vinyl Track of the Week.
You should make me another jingle.
Yeah, I was going to say, that doesn't sound like
no,
me.
it's not you. I couldn't get you to make one.
I know.
Let me find
I
some music
quit.
to play.
I quit, ladies and gentlemen. I quit making.
What's it going to cost for you to come out of retirement?
$47.
Right,
No,
let me find-
$55, like the big 55.
I'll pay you $55.
All right.
Little Montrose for the donors. All right. What a great album. What a great fucking album.
It is good. I like it.
All right.
I said that, didn't I?
All right. There's several ways you can donate to the show. By the way, this is as Adam Curry says, this is a value for value model.
All right.
If you think the show's good, think it's worth donating to, I would appreciate it, friends. If you are a cheap bastard and don't want to donate, you can do like this anonymous person who I think could be Michael Street. You could send me some nice vinyl. Or you can go to Amazon and click the, or you can go to rockandrollgeek.com and click the Amazon link for your Christmas shopping. I'll get a kickback if you're too cheap to donate to the show. Or if you're like these people did and went to patreon.com/RNRGeek, like Bette Wood, who donated $5. Danny Boyd, $5. Thank you to Daniel Segan, who donates $5 every episode on Patreon. Can you see those, Joe Klein?
No way. I can't even see the screen, let alone the names.
I was going to get him to read the donors.
Oh, you want me to read a few? Can you make it bigger?
Let me see. No, I can't.
All right, you read them. You read them, I'll listen. I love these guys, though.
Michael Street, friend of the show.
All right, Michael.
$5. Thank you, Ken Kennedy, who donates $5 every episode. Thank
Kennedy!
You Chiaki Hinohara from the Metal Moment podcast, and my good friend Chiaki Hinohara. You ever met Chiaki?
No, but I love the name.
I was going to invite him over. Maybe
Get him
you're
over
not
here.
long enough.
Get him over here right now. All right, Chiaki. Thanks, bro.
Brian Springer donates $5 every episode on Patreon. My podcast mentor and co-host of Mad at Dad.
Oh, no, don't tell me. Dave Slusher.
$5 every episode.
Love that guy's name.
Thank you to Paul Underwood for the $2 every episode.
Love your old typewriters, dude.
Take us into this fine lawnmower lager. Mario Zoth, Zothy9 on the forums, and which are no longer active, but also on the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook page, which I did not create, but I do approve people if you just search for Rock and Roll Geek on Facebook, and I will add you to the group.
I'm right there.
Thank you to Bruce McMillan for the $2 every episode. I mean, what is next on this vinyl? Is it Bad Motor Scooter? Yes, Bad Motor Scooter. We got to crank that up.
All right.
Before I continue with the donations.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Matthew Hunt for the $2.
Maddie Baby.
Aaron Stowell for the $2.
Aaron.
Yes. Robert Harvey for the $2.
Oh, Roberto.
3 Legs, 4 Wheels. Thank you for the $1. Bonstone. Thank you for the $1. Mike Dixon, $1 every episode. John Richardson, $1 every episode. Corey Kohler, $1 every episode.
Corey Baby.
That's the Patreon donors. You can also go to PayPal. Go to rockandrollgeek.com and click the PayPal link. Friends and family. Like Douglas 3 did. He donates $20 every month.
Doug, we love you.
Elodie Johns, my first girlfriend.
And mine.
$20.
$20.
I never got lucky with Elodie Johns. She never would let me do anything.
No
with her.
kidding. But she gave you $20, so what the hell?
She gives me $20 every month. Thank you, Elodie.
Goodness. Yeah.
Todd Cunningham, friend of the show.
Hi, Todd.
And also sent me the Greg Renoff Van Halen Rising book.
What a guy.
$10.
What
Thank
a
you, Todd
guy.
Cunningham.
What a guy.
Dave Franco, $10.
Frankenstein.
Bradley Lisco, BJ Lisco, $10. Thanks to friend of mine and friend of the show, Ralph Miller, for the $10.
Ralphie, baby.
Thanks to Dave Jackson in School of Podcasting, $10.
Hey, my middle name is Dave, Davey. Good first name.
Thanks to Jeff and Sherry Thielke for the $10.
Oh my God, a couple.
Thanks to Paul Fondery for the $10.
Paul, we love
Thanks
you.
to James Vitters for the $10.
Jimmy. Good going, Jimmy. Keep it up.
Thanks to Stephen Mascord for the $10. Stephen Mascord also sent you this book.
As you get off mic, trying to tell people what he said. Stevie, I'm vamping for Michael. He definitely really appreciates it.
I think this book is called Touchstone. There's even a chapter about me in the book, believe it or not.
Unbelievable. Well, that's a donation in itself.
Where am I here? Thank you to Sigmund Heidacher for the $5.
Heidacher!
Thanks to Brett Garsky for the $5. Thanks to Craig Vasiloff for the $5.
Oh, I love his name. Vasiloff. Love it.
Thanks to John Baveri for the $5. Thanks to John Tennis for the $5. Thanks to Greg Long for $5.
2 Johns and a Greg. I love it.
Thanks to Jeff CA for the $5.
Jeff, you rock.
Oh, here we go. Here we go!
Again on your bed, motor scooter. And
Thank you, San Francisco.
All right, I'm not done with the donation segment,
sorry.
so I might as well let it go to Space Station number 5.
Okay, I'll thank them again.
It's a great tune as well. Every song, this album, top to bottom, fantastic. If you do not own this album, friends, you need it.
I like it so much, I'm going to steal it from
If
Michael.
you have the Rock and Roll Geek iPhone or Android app,
I got it right here in my pocket.
this
Oh, no,
album,
that's not a phone in my pocket. I'm just happy to see it.
Montrose's first album, will not be in the bonus section. So do not click the bonus content on the app.
I never do that.
There will not be a link where you can download this album for free.
My goodness. You're giving
Because
it
that
all
would
away.
just be wrong.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
Now listen to this. Listen to this.
I can't. I'm deafened by that last track.
Oh! Come on.
They don't make them like this anymore, dude.
They do not.
That's right.
1973. All right. Thank you to Jeff CA for the $5. Thanks to Alex James Muscat for the $5.
The Muscat Love.
Thanks to Eric Lintz for the $5.
Eric.
Thanks to Dean Gillespie for the $5.
You be the dean of donors, Dean.
Richard Strom for $5.
Richie, baby, we love ya.
Thanks to Kelly Mitchell for the $5.
Oh, Kelly, keep it up.
Thanks to Andrew Howe for the $5.
Andy, baby.
Dale Roller for the $5.
Dale, tell Chip he's appreciated as well. Chip and Dale, get it? Chip and Dale, dancers.
Thanks to Jason Shepard for the $5. Thanks to Christopher Del Grande for the $5.
Yeah, Chris, go get him.
Thanks to Jer O'Carroll for the $5.
Gerald Carroll?
Jer O'Carroll.
Oh, that's a great name.
Thanks to John Offenloch for the $5.
Another great name.
Thanks to Lassie Satvenhagen for
Lassie.
the $2.
No, would you be Lassie? Would you be a nice Lassie for donating Lassie?
Thanks to John Skiller for the $2. Thanks to Bradford Page for the $2. Thanks to Peter Spark for the $2. Thanks to Michael Williams for the $2. Thanks to Adrian Boschon, Bosch Rock on the forums, and on the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook page, which I did not create, but I do approve people.
Well, I approve it.
So go
and
there
didn't
and join.
create it either.
Go there and join, I'll add
All
it.
right. Good for them. And you.
Thank you to Deborah Dreyfus, if that's your real name, for
That's
the $2.
right, Debbie. Who are you really?
Thanks to Richard Fusey for the $2. And finally, thanks to William Moffat for the $1.
William Moffin?
Moffat.
Moffat. Okay.
Thanks
Nice.
to everybody who donates to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. Without your donations, this show would die horrible, putrid, stench-filled
demise.
There you go. I might as well let this song finish out. By the way, if I forget to not add this to the app,
If you forget to not add it.
yeah, send me a reminder and I will not add it right away.
Okay.
I can't not add the bonus album because I don't have that on MP3, but I will not add Montrose first album.
Well, thanks for making that so clear.
It's a must-have. If you're a rock fan, you have to have this album. And the Rock and Roll Geek iPhone app, only $1.99.
Cheap at half the price.
So it's worth it just to not have this album in the bonus content. That would be wrong. What an album.
Thank you, donors.
Top to bottom. What a fucking album that is.
That was one of the most unusual donor solicitation segments I think I've ever heard
That was
this
quality.
evening.
That was quality.
All right, it was. Very nice. Hey, by the way, you didn't thank me. I'm donating my time, for heaven's sake.
Thank you, Joe Klein, for
What am I,
donating
chopped
your time.
liver over here?
Thank you so much, Joe. By the way,
Hey, do you take cash? By the way, I got cash. Can I just pull off a few, C notes from my wallet and give them to you?
Sure,
then,
absolutely.
then will you mention me?
I will absolutely. Oh, by the way, Joe Klein did this.
Still rocking.
That's Joe Klein.
All these years.
Okay, we've heard enough. I think your listeners have heard that enough.
Oh, do I have? There's another one that you made for me that I really like a lot.
I don't remember. I
I'll
did
find
quite a
that
few, things. Didn't I do some thing of the week? I can't remember what it was. Oh,
the
rock
douchebag clip of the
the
week.
douchebag clip of the week. One of
Do
our
I have
favorites.
That? Let's see if I can find out.
All right, I'll vamp for you while I do. Ladies and gentlemen,
Douchebag.
Michael Butler is now attempting to locate the douchebag clip of the week.
From the files of the Rock and Roll Geek,
Oh yeah.
it's the douchebag clip of the week.
Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we'd call quality
That is-
content.
that
That's
is a
quality content,
That
something
is.
that's so very
That is-
rarely
that is good.
found in podcasting in this day.
That
and
is good.
age.
There's another one that I really like too. Oh, how about this? Is this one?
From San Francisco, California, this is the Rock and Roll Geek Show. This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
That's your original. That was your original. Wasn't that you on that? That's you. That was your original show opener.
Yes,
as
I got
recall.
you to do that in a Las Vegas hotel. I got you to record.
No,
that
that was
for
that
this.
my voice on there.
That's you.
No fucking way.
Yeah, well, you did that in a hotel.
I
in a
did.
hotel on my
California,
laptop,
Hotel California.
drunk.
Oh, that explains it.
All right, I have an audio
Okay.
comment to play.
All right, play that. audio comment.
I think this is. Let me see if I can.
Did I
find
tell
it.
you I'm having a really, really almost awesome time here tonight?
Are you? Oh, that's good. Glad to hear.
Good way to
Joe
ring-
Klein had. I made fish tacos. with some of the ling cod that I caught at Half Moon Bay on the kayak.
Old Man in the Sea.
How were the fish tacos?
They rocked, man. They were absolutely. They rocked.
Tasted like rocks.
They rocked. The rock, wasn't it rock cod that we were eating?
It was a ling cod.
Ling cod. Well, it should have been rock cod. Then it would have made more sense. But it was delicious, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is the rock and roll chef. But you already knew that. See what you could do to get an invite to dinner to this guy's house. And if you could
can come to dinner to my house. If you donate, Paul Underwood, one of the donors, donated, I think it's $200. If you donate $200 and you're in San Francisco, I will fix you dinner. I will make you and your girlfriend or boyfriend dinner, give you all the beer you can drink, and you can come down and do a show with me for $200.
Good Lord. God, I've only got 175 on me.
All right, pay up.
Okay, pay up.
All right, here's an audio comment.
All right.
Hey, Michael Butler, how's it going? It's your buddy Jonathan Travers.
Super great, couldn't be better.
God, listen to his voice.
Just sitting on the shitter, listening to your Malcolm Young tribute, smoking a cigarette.
There you go.
Poor Malcolm.
Listening to Casey Crenshaw.
Yeah, Casey Crenshaw. You know Casey?
Yeah, do I know Casey?
Last show, he called in with a Guns N' Roses show review, and it was the funniest show review ever. He went to the Guns N' Roses concert, and he didn't see any songs. He missed every song.
How did that happen?
It was a comedy bit, pretty much. It was.
Oh, so he didn't really go.
He went to the show,
but just made it a point to not review any of the songs.
It was hilarious. Yeah. Well, no,
I would have liked to have heard that.
He went.
I'll have to go.
He missed the first 3 songs because he was in traffic. Then he had to go to the bathroom. Then he had diarrhea. He missed another song. Then he had to go get beer, and he missed another song. Then he tripped down the stairs and spilled all his beer, missed another song.
So this was
had to
his
go
review.
buy his girlfriend a $500 leather jacket, so he missed another 2 songs.
I love
like
this.
that. So,
Casey cracks me up.
Jonathan Travers is referring to Casey's audio comment, I think.
Travers, just sitting on the shitter, listening to your Malcolm Young tribute, smoking a cigarette. Listening to Casey Crenshaw and his fucking Guns N' Roses review. All right, this is coming from somebody that's got a fucking Guns N' Roses tattoo on their forearm. These fucking people that are being duped into this fucking 3/5 reunion bullshit, and they keep claiming, oh, he sounds like he did back in the day. No, he doesn't.
He does not. I agree with you, Jonathan Travers. He sounds like Ethel Merman.
As do I, and I'll tell you
footage,
something.
And you can't.
Go ahead, tell me, Joe.
Well, okay. You don't want to live. I went to the second, I believe, the very second
reunion.
Reunion, yeah, in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
A lady friend of mine
at the House of Blues.
No, at the brand new T-Mobile Arena. No, the T-Mobile Arena.
Oh, okay.
That was there. Well, yes, you're absolutely right. They had done no. I went to the T-Mobile Arena, but you're right. They had done a couple of shows earlier in the week, so this was their second big reunion concert. It was at the T-Mobile Arena, and I have to agree. But I don't know if you remember this, but remember Axl had broken his foot.
Oh yeah, he was sitting down.
He was sitting on a throne that was loaned to him
by Dave Navarro. What's his name?
By Dave Grohl.
Yeah,
from lead singer of
whatever.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, that was really interesting. He was sitting down, and he was okay, but I do agree, it was not like the Guns N' Roses of old. But on the positive side, I do have to say it was one of the better rock concerts I've been to in a very, very, very long time.
Okay.
It was pretty good.
Does anybody watch this fucking YouTube footage? And you can't even give me this, it was filmed on a phone shit. I've seen some pro shot footage, and that dude's voice is pretty much shot halfway through the first fucking song. And the line of the comment, Casey, was one of the better songs off of Chinese Democracy. There's good songs on Chinese Democracy?
Exactly.
What the fuck ones are you talking about, dude? That album fucking blows, man.
I love Jonathan Travers. He doesn't mind talking shit.
He tells
That's
it like
not even worth getting it in a disc form so you can do fucking coke off the fucking tray. That thing sucked. Oh my God. It was funny though, listening to the fact that he missed all this fucking bullshit, being late and walking around in the wrong entrance. But these people that in these comment sections, and then you even to see a headline like, oh, Axl's back in form. That guy has not been.
And when they say he sounds good in AC/DC, people say he sounds great. Okay. I don't agree, but okay.
To be honest with you, I have never been a huge Axl Rose fan to begin with anyway, but I do agree with everything that's being said right now.
Line like, oh, Axl's back in form. That guy has not been back in form
in a long time.
Dude, this is Guns and Replacements. That's all it is.
If he was back in form, he would be about 150 pounds lighter.
Yeah,
well, it has been, and it's all it's gonna be. That band, thank God Izzy fucking said fuck that bullshit. The fact, you know,
Izzy said fuck that bullshit because they only wanted to pay Izzy what they were going to pay Richard Fortus and the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
You're right.
You have so much, you know, like I said, this is coming from a Guns N' Roses diehard fan. I think Appetite for Destruction, I was 16 when that came out, so I played the fuck out of that. But I love the fact that you turned
Do you think Guns N' Roses, do you think Appetite for Destruction is up there on classic albums with Montrose's first album and Van Halen's first and second album and Aerosmith Rocks?
No way. No way.
It probably will go down in history of being up there in one of the great rock albums.
It's a classic album for sure, but
I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a huge Guns N' Roses fan, but I can see where people would say that.
Yeah.
Free fucking ticket to go see that. You look at the fucking set list, it's the same fucking shit every night, and it's
everybody's set list is the same shit every night.
I mean, yeah, you got to.
They do that now because of production. You know, they got to do their lights. They
got
all the video footage. Everything's all mapped out. So
that set list is so fucking boring. It's unbelievable. I mean,
they play like 3.5 hours long, don't they?
Who, Guns N' Roses?
Yeah.
God.
No, the show at the of course I don't know. I can't speak for all of them. That show, that opening week at the T-Mobile Arena it was pretty long though. I think it was about 2.5.
The last show they did
2.5 hours.
When Casey show review, he said they played like 3 hours.
Yeah,
it might be playing for a long time, but his vocals fucking blow, and fuck all that Chinese democracy fucking bullshit. That tour is a fucking joke. I can't believe.
They're making a lot of money, man.
All five to come back together, but I mean, Jesus Christ, I'd take Gilby Clarke even over that douchebag looking Richard Fortus. Good God!
All right.
Oh, ironically,
I think Richard Fortus looks okay on stage. I think he looks cooler than Slash on stage.
I do believe Gilby played with them the night I saw them.
Gilby played with Cheap Trick when you and I saw Cheap Trick.
Maybe I'm confused. Maybe I'm thinking of that. That was a fun night.
Just wanted to say, hey, check in, Casey. You're fucking crazy. I'm out later.
All right,
Casey Crenshaw.
Hey, Michael Butler, what's going on?
Calls in again.
This is John of the Travers, part 2.
Again?
And another thing!
Hey, Jonathan, tell us how you really feel.
Pull up a set list here. This is from Guns N' Roses, Staples Center, L.A., California, November 24th, 2017.
Okay. Recent.
God almighty, these fucking guys. I can't believe the set list. Okay, as usual, It's So Easy, the open.
So easy. I'm not going to sing.
All right.
I'm not going to sing Axl.
I think the set list has pretty much stayed the same all year.
I guess you got to keep that in the set list. Then into the great Chinese democracy. Good God, already in the third song, they're boring you to the fucking bar line. Welcome to the jungle.
They're boring you to the bar line.
Yeah, I like that. Very good, JT.
Double Talk and Jive. That's an alright one, but that's more of an Izzy Stradlin song, even though Axl sings that was a good Izzy song. Then into Better. Good God. That Chinese democracy is just fucking brutal, man. It's brutal. Into Estranged. Oh, great. A long, drawn-out, boring piece of fucking garbage from that fucking Use Your Illusion era.
Tell us how you really feel.
Into Live and Let Die, even better.
Live and Let Die.
Oh,
that cover was
embarrassing.
10 seconds into hearing it for the first time, I was like, okay, good, whatever, next. Rocket Queen, that's an alright ending to Appetite.
Your Rocket Queen.
You Could Be Mine, that's not too bad. New Rose, Cover the Dam, they mix this one up. The big switch in the set list is they'll switch this with Attitude by the Misfits. Oh my God,
I don't know that one.
How radical. And then Casey was talking about This I Love into Prostitute. Those are two of the biggest piss break songs it has to be in arena rock history.
Well, in Casey's case, it was a diarrhea break.
Civil War, not bad. Yesterday's horrible. Coma, nothing like Andy introduces the band, so there's 15 minutes of garbage. Into a Slash guitar solo. So there's probably 20 minutes
of garbage.
Of fucking piss break.
Yeah, there you go.
That goes into the theme from The Godfather.
Yeah.
So there's another fucking 5 minutes. Good Lord. What the fuck? Even they're bored with their own shit. They gotta walk off stage and take a break from this nonsense. Sweet Child of Mine into Wichita Lineman. They're still doing Wichita Lineman. Oh, terrific. Yeah. Terrific. Used to Love Her, My Michelle, not bad. Into Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. Into November Rain with the Layla intro. Into Black Hole Sun.
Do you think Guns N' Roses, Jonathan Travers, you think Guns N' Roses back in their heyday when they were the world's most dangerous rock band, you think they would have done Wish You Were Here? I don't think they would have back there when they were so dangerous.
Into Knocking on Heaven's Door. 1, 2, 3, 4 songs that... Take those out and put in something like... There's so many other... Come on, man. They're still doing that knocking...
It's only $250 a ticket, though.
Resort, and I bet you he still does the, I'll sing one, you sing one. Let's rock this, like, take this roof down. Yay. God, finally, the end it was Night Train, at least. At least they didn't... Oh, the encores. Patience into that great song, Madagascar. Everybody remembers that one, right? Don't Cry into the Who's the Seeker.
It's a long encore.
Guns N' Roses fans want nothing. They want a shitload of cover songs in their fucking set list.
I agree with you. I agree.
Into Paradise City. God.
Every show review I've ever heard was everybody. When I listen to Eddie Trunk on Volume, and people call in other shows that are on Sirius, and they all call in with show reviews. They all have a common thread that they played too long.
Well, interestingly, back to a radio story real quick. There was a radio station in L.A. There's a station in L.A. There's a frequency in L.A. that has a station, 100.3 FM. I mean, it's been it's one of these stations in a big city that's been a million different stations, a million different names over the years. And it just so happens that I happen to have known a few of the program directors over the years that ran that station under different names and what have you. But in the late 80s, for about, roughly 2 years, that radio station, that frequency, 100.3 FM, was called Pirate Radio.
Yeah.
And Scott Shannon, who's an old friend of mine from way back when, the radio guy, he programmed the station, and that was the only radio station, I think, in the entire country that was actually programmed to the Guns N' Roses audience. As a matter of fact, they had bumper stickers, black bumper stickers with blue, kind of turquoise blue type that said Pirate Radio 103. FM, and then under that, Welcome to the Jungle. That was actually the station's motto, and I had a chance, no big deal, because I'm sure it's long forgotten, especially by Axel now, but I went down to the radio station one morning when Scott was on the air. Early days of the format, I think it was the first week the station was on the air, first 1 or 2 weeks, and met Axl Rose there. Axl was down there, just Axl, and Scott was interviewing him on the air, so that was kind of a cool thing. But it's an interesting little bit of radio trivia that not too many people know, that an entire format in a major, LA radio station was modeled, after the group and towards their audience.
Did you do coke with Axl Rose?
No, I did not do coke with Axl Rose, but if I did, I would say I didn't.
Nothing. They want a shitload of cover songs in their fucking set list. Into Paradise City. God, oh my God. By then, can you imagine what Axl's voice is by Paradise City, let alone that's halfway through the first track. Anyway, Casey, you're still crazy. All right, I'm going to get high later.
All right. There you go.
JT.
You too can leave me a show review or an audio comment. Area code 706-621-ROCK. That's area code 706-621-7625. Or you can do like John Travers did, which is the way I prefer you to do it. Record it on your phone and email it to me, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com.
God, where's my phone? Where is it? That was a great, by the way, that was definitely one of the best reviews I've heard all night.
All right.
Best rock and roll.
So on Blabbermouth, listen to Joe Perry. Let me see if I can click it up here. Listen to Joe Perry's solo song, I, featuring Cheap Trick's Robin Zander. So I figured we'd give this a listen. Joe Perry has a new album out. I talked about this last episode of the Rock and Roll Geek Show. He's got a new album coming out called a solo album, Sweetserland Manifesto, on January 19th. On the album, songs co-written with Robin Zander.
Nice.
Dave Johansen from the New York Dolls sings on a few songs. Terry Reid sings on a couple of songs. Looking forward to this album. Jack Douglas produced it. Johnny Depp is the executive producer. Well, here is the first song released off of the album, and it's called I, written by, or co-written by Robin Zander. I'm assuming it's Joe Perry and Robin Zander wrote it. Robin Zander is singing the song. So let's listen to it together,
Check
shall
it
we,
out.
friends? I.
Plays my song all night long. Oh, give me that thing so sweet. I'm a listen, baby. Come on, come on, come on. Smiling face with those Gibson thighs. I'm begging you, please. She's my love surprise. I'm glistening, baby. He plays my song. He turns it on, baby. He plays my song. All night long. Darling, my baby. My savior, my lady. You keep me from crazy. Baby, oh darling, my baby. All night long, she plays my song. Hell, give me that thing so sweet. Don't string me along now with a jaded smile, elevated style, slipping out at lane. Keep the volume high, yeah, that's right. Come on, he plays my song.
I'm going to interject here. I don't think this doesn't sound that great. Could it be possible Joe Perry is not sober?
Don't know about that.
There you go. It's all right.
Not bad. Obligatory rock and roll. Pretty nice production. The song, I don't know
You
about.
think the
The song
production's
doesn't
nice?
knock me out. What? I said, it was all right. I mean, the song didn't knock me out. The production's not bad. You know, you got to hand it, though, to Jack Douglas, man. I mean, this guy has really had a brilliant career. I met Jack back in, what was the year? I got to think now. Well, he was working, you know, Jack Douglas produced the Double Fantasy album.
That's right.
With John Lennon. I mean, so it's amazing that the same guy that did Double Fantasy did that record, and many, 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 many others. Well, I met Jack at a restaurant. I'm trying to remember which. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I met him during the time he was just finishing up the Double Fantasy album with John Lennon, which was just...
this in New York or L.A.?
No, I met him in L.A. Where I met him was in L.A. But
So he was probably mixing the album in L.A. But they
Yeah,
recorded it in New York.
yeah. I think he did mix a few of the tracks in L.A. and I met him around that time. He might have actually just completed it. You know, again, we're talking 30.
Go ahead. I
Anyway,
interrupted you, sorry.
Great producer, really, really nice guy. Well, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people don't realize this. He went into a serious funk for obvious reasons because, I mean, literally, what was it? Just weeks after the Double Fantasy was released.
That's right.
You know,
He got killed.
Yeah. John was gone. John left us, not by his own choice. But the thing that's interesting is that Jack went into a serious funk and just refused to go back into the studio. It's easy to imagine why. I mean, he was seriously depressed. But this is the wildest part. Again, a little tie-in for my crazy life in the music business is the first album that Jack produced after that was, gosh, I believe was 1 year later, or maybe a little more than a year, between 1 and 2 years later, on a group that was named 1999 was the name of the group. Great record, by the way, and one of the members in that band was another guy that was in the Sunset Bombers, Rick Armand, our guitar player, and Jack Douglas produced his album, the 1999 album, and it's an album you might even kind of enjoy, kind of the genre of things that you like. But anyway, that's my little Jack Douglas encounter. And Jack was a really nice guy, and he is really a terrific record producer, so I don't want to disparage any of his work. But I do have to say that last song didn't knock me out. I've heard lots worse, but definitely kind of on the obligatory rock and roll side, if that makes any sense.
There you go. That's the second time I heard the song. The first time I heard it was I was listening to it on my phone, the earbuds, and I thought it sounded kind of like the quality of a garage band is for the song. It sounded better the second time, so maybe it'll be. Yeah. I really want to hear Dave Johansen, what Dave Johansen's going to do. Yeah. Robin Zander, in my opinion, the greatest singer going now. But as far as songwriting, I don't think Robin Zander's up there in the top songwriters, even though Cheap Trick's my favorite band.
Who's your favorite songwriter? Who's your daddy?
I'll probably be Ginger Wildheart, but
okay. All right.
I know you don't know who that is, but
no.
I still love Robin Zander. Not a lot of thought put into those vocals or put into those lyrics, I don't think.
Yeah, well, I agree with that.
But I'm looking forward to hearing Joe Perry's solo album, and I'm really looking forward to hearing Dave Johansen. Robin Zander sings, I think, 1 or 2 more songs on the album as well. So,
by the way, that wasn't a bad song. I don't agree with you on the garage band quality, but but it's far from from what I would call a legendary rock and roll record.
Robin Zander sings that song, and he sings another one. Did he sing? Is it another? Oh, maybe that's the only one he sings on. It might be the only one he does on that album.
And this is a Joe Perry album.
Joe Perry solo album.
Yeah. Okay.
You know who Terry Reid is?
Yeah, Terry Reid. I remember playing a couple of his tracks back in 1969 or 70, right? He was rocking back then.
He has
trying to remember the name of the song.
3. He does 3 songs. He co-writes and sings 3 songs on this album.
But am I right? Is that Terry Reid goes way back to 1970? Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
he's an old guy.
I played some songs on the UCLA radio station.
Dave Johansen does 1, 2, 3 songs on the album as well.
I like Terry Reid, by the way.
Dave Johansen, I think, is like Joe Perry's best friend. If you listen to Rocks on Back in the Saddle, they did the sound of the Spurs on, like, in the background of Back in the Saddle. It's a famous story. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. But Dave Johansen had the idea where tape the what do you call it? Tambourine to some boots and go in the stairwell
and
tap them on the ground and record that, and it would sound like Spurs. That was David Johansen's idea.
Interesting concept. But
in Joe Perry's book, he talks about that.
Well, we did lots of crazy stuff back in those days in the recording studio.
Joe Klein was also a record producer as well. Right,
yeah.
Joe Klein?
Yes, I had my share.
I had lived a life that's full.
Yeah. Been around the block a few times, to say the least.
All right, let's play another song, and then I'll talk about one or two other things. I think I might have an email. Maybe I should read the emails.
Read that email. Read that email. Read that email.
I'll play a song first.
Okay, play that song. Play that song.
This was sent to me by friend of the show, Ken Parker, because I'm going to be doing my top 10 albums of the year, like I usually do at the end of the year.
Looking forward to that.
And Ken Parker said, "Listen to this album before you do your top 10, because this might be one of your top 10." So I listened to this album. This album is Ryan Hamilton and the Traitors. I know Ryan Hamilton because Ginger Wildheart did a Fuck You Brain 3-song thing benefit for depression, people that are depressed.
Wow.
And Ryan Hamilton...
I did not know that.
I know you don't care.
Yeah.
But Ryan Hamilton
know.
was on that, and that's how I know Ryan Hamilton. Well, Ken Parker sent me this. I listened to this album when I had to go to a dog show today to show one of the dogs. My wife couldn't go, so I had to go.
How did your dog do, by the way?
Get
it? Dog do.
She did well.
Good.
I had to show her. I had to get in the ring, and I fucked up. I'm not a dog handler. I look like an idiot.
I would have loved. Do you have video of you trotting around with the dog?
I do for a previous time.
Would you guys all like to see that, or what?
It's horrible. It's horrible. I'm terrible. I'm not a dog.
You're terrible.
I'm not a dog hand like a guy in the show ring. I look like a moron.
I can't even imagine you in a dog.
Anyway,
show,
I listened to this album top to bottom on the way. It's the first time I listened to it through. It is a really, really good album. This is Ryan Hamilton and the Traitors. This will probably be in the top 10.
And the Traitors, did you say?
Ryan Hamilton and the Traitors.
Okay.
This song is called "We Should Never Have Moved to L.A." And Joe Klein, I'm going to let this play, and I'm going to go use the bathroom that is right behind you.
Okay, I'll keep your seat and the bathroom warm.
Okay.
For you.
Up. Nobody to turn it up.
What'd you do wrong?
See, this is highly unprofessional.
I know. Such production value on this show.
We should never have moved to L.A.
I can relate to that.
Hurry up. She's a beauty. Check us out, we're on our way. She knew she wanted to be famous. It appears that it's contagious, yeah. All we need is one big break. So we headed west to Hollywood, but can't afford the neighborhood. And this is what she had to say. She said, it's my way or the highway, what can I say? Yes, it's time to get me on the freeway. You can take a taxi or the subway. Don't be such a see you next Tuesday. We all know I'll be leaving soon anyway. Now it's feeling sort of like a getaway. I think this has potential for a screenplay. We never should have moved to LA. My high school sweetheart, the making of a superstar, she begged me, come back to LA. She said, I'm lost without you, honey, and she'd run out of money, but my baby made a big mistake. You see, I wanted to get even, so I guess I best be leaving. I can't wait to see her face. She said, honey, how I've missed you, and I can't wait to kiss you. Guess what I said? I said, it's my way or the highway, what can I say? Guess it's time to get me on the freeway. You can take a taxi or the subway. Don't be such a see you next Tuesday. We all know I'll be leaving soon anyway. Now it's feeling sort of like a getaway.
Get it? Don't be such a see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday on the freeway.
You know what see you next Tuesday means?
No. Tell me.
Or see you. All right.
I got it. I got it. I got the initials. I got the initials.
Don't be such a...
It's My Way or the Freeway, man.
That's a good pop song. That record is called The Devil's in the Detail.
You know, it's interesting, too, because back in all my years in L.A., and, you know, I'm sure glad I left L.A. I lived in L.A. for 45 years, man. And I could relate to that song only because of all the bands and artists I knew that moved to L.A. that were having such tough times getting record deals and stuff. And they, you know, a lot of times I would kind of hear that very same phrase. Oh, why did we move to L.A.?
That's why they call it the Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Boulevard of Broken Dreams. There you go.
All right. And I'm not going to read an email. Thank you for the emails. If I don't read your emails, I apologize, friends. I'm not going to read an email. Eric Rock and Roll Plebe wanted me to do a Dave Mustaine impression, and I'm not feeling like a dancing bear tonight to do a Dave Mustaine. I'll read his email and fuck it. I just wanted to say I enjoy your Dave Mustaine impression. Special request that you do some if the spirit enters you and the mood strikes you on an upcoming episode. He seems to be on Blabbermouth blog posts a lot, so maybe you can read some of his quotes. All right, I'm not going to read any Dave Mustaine. When I did the big fart, hello me, it's me again. All right, enough of that.
Oh, that was the best impression I've ever heard.
Dave Mustaine, who knows that is?
No, but I love the impression.
Megadeth.
All right. Okay. All right. It's okay.
For those
of you that did, you know, he doesn't read your emails. Don't worry, I will. I'll read them after the show. Hold them close to my heart.
Somebody posted on the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook page. I think Michael Street did. New Rick Springfield song. Listen to it.
He likes stuff. She likes stuff.
Yeah, of course. The ads.
He's got a new album coming out called The Snake King. God, and you know how I feel about Rick Springfield. Well, listen to a little bit of it. I'm not going to play the whole song.
No. We'll check it out.
I love Rick Springfield, but I like the power pop Rick Springfield with the catchy tune.
Jesse's Girl.
Apparently, this album is going to be. The last album he did was his quote country album, which I liked a lot actually. This one is going to be his quote blues album.
Oh. Little demon, did we go south? I was sure I could haunt you. Skin to skin with my mouth to mouth. Little demon, I want you.
Rick Springfield, way underrated guitar player, by the way, as you well know.
And overrated soap opera star.
Is he overrated?
I don't know.
He's a good actor.
I went to a taping of, wasn't he on General Hospital or one? I can't even remember.
Yeah, Noah Drake, Dr. Noah Drake.
That's right. A lady I knew, a girl I knew was had a bit part on one of those shows, and I went down to the studio, and he was there taping the show.
I saw Rick Springfield either last year or the year before. He was great, man. I've seen him several times. He's great in concert.
I loved his power pop songs. Those were great songs.
He's a great songwriter. He's a great guitar player. He's got a good band, except for the bass player.
Mm-hmm. Except for the bass player. And you should know. I look forward
to this album, but I don't have high expectations because I don't really care that much about hearing Rick Springfield sing blues, but maybe his interpretations will be okay. All right, there's Rick Springfield. That song is called Little Demon from the album The Snake King, which is coming out early next year, I guess.
More bass in the headphones, please.
I'm going to close out the show now. I think we're about done here.
I know I am.
Joe Klein?
Yes, Michael Butler.
Thank you so much for coming on. It was
Bubba. You've made my holidays bright.
You made actually. We should probably close out with the song that you wrote and produced.
Yeah, it's a little
Christmas song.
a little poppy, a little syrupy for this show. But you have mentioned to your listeners, to your dozens of listeners out there, that I was a record producer at one time, and did produce a few, and actually wrote and produced a Christmas song that kind of went on to be a near hit for several years back in it originally came out in 1988, but
near hit.
It was the biggest hit, never available in any stores.
Did you make any money off this?
I made a lot of money off of for the first few years it was out off of performance ASCAP money because I wrote the song and published it. But actually the most interesting thing about the song, which is called Christmas in Malibu, that I wrote in the summer of '88 on the beaches of Malibu, crazy, is the song actually world premiered on one of the biggest radio stations in the entire country, Kiss FM in L.A., November 25th, '88, right on the Hollywood Hamilton show, which is kind of unheard of for a song that wasn't released on a label, was on no record label and not available in any stores.
You want to talk up the post on it?
What? You mean do the talk over the intro?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Right. Before we do that, let me tell you how you can reach the show. By the way, thank you for listening, friends. I really appreciate it. Okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I've been listening as well.
Please keep the donations coming, friends. Without your donations, the show would die a horrible future, sensual death. But you can find this show at rockandrollgeek.com. Email me, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com with the subject line, Butler, please have Joe Klein on more often. That guy is the best
oh, you're too kind.
Guest you ever had besides Casey Crenshaw. Put that in the subject line.
Love Casey. We got to both be on a show.
Or you can or if you do not like me,
or
put
me.
it in the subject line, Butler. Okay, you know this bit.
Yeah,
right.
you know
rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. Find me on the Facebook. Eric, what is it? R&R Geek.
You didn't create that page.
No, that's the Rock and Roll Geek page on Facebook.
Okay.
You can find my personal Facebook, R&R Geek.
All right.
Find me on the Twitter, R&R Geek. Find me on the Instagram, Rock and Roll Geek. Don't ask.
I'm looking at it right now.
All right, Joe Klein, you ready to do the? Thanks for listening, friends.
Hey, happy holidays, seasons, greetings, everybody. Merry Christmas.
I will see you before Christmas, friends. I will do another show before Christmas. I promise.
Oh, and I'll be listening.
I'm sure. All right, you ready to talk it up?
I'm ready. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Christmas of 1988, it's a classic from the RadDudes, Christmas in Malibu.
Wow!
Ain't no one there.
You just forgot to do the call letters.
Everyone's home, presents to share.
KMB.
Christmas is here. No reason to
I love this guy, man. I fucking love Joe
on a
Klein.
rock, ran out of beer.
You know I love you, right, Joe Klein?
I do know.
Fuck, I love that guy, man. All right, thanks for listening, friends. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a great Christmas in Malibu.
Never thought it would happen to you. Christmas in Malibu. They were breaking outside. Sudden rise of the tide. Then out of the northern sky comes a sled. It lands on a swell. Guess who's inside? Saint Nick and his elves. Wetsuits off the shelves. It's the one day of year they get the waves to themselves. Christmas in Malibu. Never thought it would happen to you. Christmas in Malibu. Hello, dude. You gotta get over here. It's him, dude. Right out front, ripping it up. Santa, dude. What? No, I don't have a video camera. Old Santa hung 10. He winks at me, smiles, and then, with the crash of a wave, they were gone. But his board washes ashore. That was when I put my wetsuit on quick. Paddled out on that big old red stick. Then the best waves I'd ever seen start rolling in. A gift just for me from Saint Nick. Perfect waves I could ride on my own. The true Christmas spirit that I'd never known. And then from the clouds came a jolly deep voice that said,
Surf's up, dude. Ho, ho, ho.
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.